Hello, dear friends. We move in an ocean of uncertainty, but every now and then a clue appears. Opinion piece. Iraq could be the beginning. Rumours of revaluation. The Iraqi dinar scam. Protest in the Iraqi parliament. The Indian rupee is going global. Iran to accept Russian payment cards. War boosts oil company profits. China panics over Modi's rebellion. China is getting more aggressive in the Pacific. Parallel economy to surround banking system. Dubai bets on the future of financial technology. Let's start. It is said Iraq is the origin of civilization, and it could also be the beginning of currency revaluation. But you have to be very careful with rumors, because since the Gulf War there has been a lot of talk about the Iraqi dinar scam. For more than a decade, the news about the Iraqi dinar has not been very positive. The reality is that the dinar needed to be revaluated because it was undervalued. Mesopotamia was the first civilization to record its political affairs, its education and literature, its philosophy and ethics, its laws and justice, its agriculture and medicine, and even its sentimental and family life. According to Samuel Noah Kramer's famous book, History Begins in Sumer, it was there that extraordinary social and cultural realities emerged, from writing to the first city-states, and where science and other aesthetic, social and cultural creations received an enormous boost. Rumours. Mark Sira said Iraq was blocked on Saturday, 23rd July. No news was allowed out of the country, and no one was allowed to leave the country. On Wednesday, 27th July, Middle East Nadar published 2 videos saying that the Iraqi dinar rate had been revaluated, but that the new rate had not yet been made public. On the same Wednesday, Mark Sira said his contacts reported that they were partying, laughing and dancing in the Iraqi parliament, the Central Bank of Iraq, and other government buildings. This rumor contrasts with the news that hundreds of protesters violently entered the Iraqi parliament on Wednesday, 27th July, amid outrage over the choice of Mohammed al-Sudani as prime ministerial candidate by Iranian-backed political movements. It is the largest protest in Iraq since parliamentary elections were held last October. The dinar will gain momentum as the value of oil rises and Iraqi reserves are released. What was paid 10 years ago for the dinar has since tripled due to the price of oil. This is an oil economy, and those who have it are in good position to make money on the world market. This, of course, would only increase the value of the dinar further. History. After the Gulf War in 1991, due to the economic blockade, Suez technology for printing banknotes was not available, so banknotes of a lower quality were printed. The pre-Gulf War banknotes are known as Suez dinars and continue to circulate in Kurdistan. Due to the excessive quantity of banknotes printed, the dinar devalued rapidly, and by the end of 1995, its exchange rate was 3,000 dinars to the dollar. Following the overthrow of Saddam Hussein's regime during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, the Iraqi interim government and the Coalition Provisional Authority printed more Saddam banknotes as an interim measure to secure the money supply until the introduction of the new dinar. Between 15th October 2003 and 15th January 2004, the Coalition Provisional Authority issued new Iraqi notes and coins. These banknotes were printed at the LaRue using state-of-the-art security features to prevent counterfeiting. In 2004, new 25, 50, and 100 dinar coins were introduced. However, these mintages have not enjoyed a good reputation among the Iraqi public. Parallel economy. Things are getting interesting as they are creating a parallel economy to surround the Western banking system. Iran will start accepting Russian payment cards, MIR, and the Iranian rupee is going global, as the Reserve Bank of India has implemented a system to settle international trade transactions in Indian rupees instead of dollars. The dinar was introduced on 1st April 1932 to replace the Indian rupee, which had been the official currency since the British occupation of Iraq in the First World War. There are a lot of counterfeit dinars in Iran because there are counterfeit currencies all over the world, and that needs to be cleaned up. The IMF and the World Bank are trying to intervene with the World Trade Organization to push this world currency. There is no deadline, but the announcement should be this year. The high points are coming, and with them this desperation of the sellers to get out of their stuck dinars. Scam? The Iraqi dinar scam. The Iraqi dinar scam has been talked about since the first Gulf War as a currency scam that involves selling dinars at an inflated margin with the promise of future revaluation. So we don't know if this news could be self-serving. The Iraqi dinar investment opportunity is a scam that has been around for years and has recently been regaining much of its former popularity. The opportunity is presented as a way to profit from an almost worthless Iraqi dinar that will supposedly appreciate in the future. The scammers promise that millions of dollars in profits are virtually guaranteed if you buy the dinars at current value and then exchange them for dollars at a later date once the dinar exchange rate has improved. There are currently 162 official currencies worldwide. However, 48 of these currencies are pegged to other currencies at a fixed exchange rate. This means, for example, that although the Danish krone is an independent currency, it is always pegged to the euro at a constant exchange rate. Other currencies, such as the Panamanian balboa, even correspond directly to the dollar at a 1:1 ratio. Incidentally, the oldest currency still in use is the British pound sterling, which has been used in Britain and many colonies for more than 1,200 years. Reset news. On Wednesday, 20 July, Chinese elders refused to sign documents that would have released the currency revaluation because those documents had been changed from the original agreement. They gave the click until Sunday, 24th July, to return to the original agreement. Early in the morning of Friday, 22nd July, the Chinese elders signed those documents at the Treasury, and the currency revaluation was supposedly released. On Wednesday, 27th July, Charlie Ward said the 209 countries now had gold backing. Dutch farmers have intensified their protest, blocking roads with sand, waste, hay bales and manure on motorways. China panics over Modi's rebellion and comes to the rescue of imploding real estate. China is becoming more aggressive in the Pacific. General Milley said on Sunday that the Chinese regime's armed forces have become more aggressive and dangerous in the past 5 years. Allies have increasingly intercepted Chinese aircraft and ships in the Pacific. Spain. More than 1 million travelers have crossed the Strait of Gibraltar since 15th June. Andalusia's climate turns desert-like according to experts. Santander earns 33% more until June and rejects more taxes on banks. Iberdrola earns 35.5% more in the first half of the year, but loses 26% in Spain. Americas. Boric announces the end of health copayment in Chile's public system. The market is cautious about possible cabinet changes in Argentina. Dozens of dead penguins wash up on the coast of Paraguay. Caravan attacks immigration office in the Mexican municipality of Huixtla. Some $400,000 are seized in a money laundering investigation in Ecuador. Lula has 51% support among young people compared to Bolsonaro's 20% according to a poll. USA. The US enters recession and consumers fear the consequences. US economy enters technical recession as inflation hits growth. Fears of US recession are confirmed as GDP falls for the second time. Fed rate hike could trigger a spate of foreclosures and market crashes according to Mike Adams. Texas crude oil down 0.9% to close at $96.42 a barrel. Assault rifle sales exceed $1.7 billion in 10 years in the US. Europe. Uncontrolled fire on the German-Czech border, serious risks to a forest in the Bohemian Switzerland National Park. The crisis leaves countless Europeans without a summer holiday. Ryanair unions call for a 5-month strike from August. Paris uses the Seine River to cool its most emblematic sites. The waters of the Mediterranean reached 30 degrees Celsius on Wednesday, 27th July. Ukraine. Hungary calls for change of strategy with Russia. Ukraine reports massive Russian attacks in 6 provinces. The US estimates that more than 75,000 Russians have been killed or injured in Ukraine. US offers Russia a deal to free 2 Americans. Russians' fear of submarine in Crimea affects the tourism sector. 3 Black Sea ports start operation to export grain according to Kiev. Turkey opens a coordination center for Ukrainian grain exports. Oil companies' profits soar after the war in Ukraine. Other news. One of the world's largest diamonds, the Lulo Rose, discovered in Angola. La Rosa de Lulo. The European Union highlights the low turnout in the Tunisian referendum and awaits the elections. Amnesty International denounces that Taliban repression is destroying Afghan women. Monsoon rains wreak havoc in Pakistan. Dubai bets on entrepreneurship and the future of financial technology. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friend.